What's your beef, scoreheads? Murph is waiting to hear from you. The beef lines are now open at 312-644-6767. Only on WSCR. The Score.
This hour of the Busy Murph Show being brought to you by Jimmy John's. Look at the beef lines are already warming up. What's your beef? In one moment from our friends at Brown's, lunchtime in Brown's, it goes hand in hand. Beefs and Brown's, you know it tastes better. How often I'm out and about and I meet so many of our great listeners go, Murph, I love the Score, but I'm nervous to phone in. You know what? What's your beef is perfect for you. We get you in, we get you out. 312-644-6767. And a guy perfect for all your insurance needs, Vuk, Jeff Vukovich. Murph's nationwide insurance agent of the year. You know Vuk. Almost everybody knows Vuk. 29 years, Park Ridge, solid family guy right downtown in Park Ridge. Vuk is on your side.
Hit him up!
Move out!
Move him out!
We want to know what's bothering you in the world of sports. Give Murph a call at 312-644-6767. That's 312-644-6767. And tell him what's beefing you in the world of sports. What's Your Beef is brought to you by Brown's Chicken Sandwiches and Catering.
It tastes better. Brown's, you know what I always say? Why make your wife do all the cooking? Stop on by Brown's on the way home tonight. Pick up some of the wonderful golden chicken. Or lunchtime right now, beefs. Italian sausage. My favorite. Maxwell Street Polish. Like I say, heck, I don't even know where Maxwell Street is anymore. They moved it. Maxwell Street Polish at 50 Brown's locations. Lunch at Brown's. The sandwiches, they taste better. Let's get to the beef lines. See what you, the Chicago area sports fans, are beefing about. Getting us rolling. Frank in Lombard. Hello, Frank.
Murph.
Hey, Frank, what's your beef?
Hey, Murph, real quick, I want to clear up something. Last week, you used one of my calls from Mike North in the morning, and you said I've never declared if I'm a Sox or a Cub fan.
Uh-oh. Oh, yes, Frank, that was a great, great clip. But you know what? I didn't recognize it being you. You phoned me, and I didn't realize that was you. I apologize.
No, that's okay. I'm a Cub fan. Raised in Melrose Park all my life. Believe me. Go Cubbies.
Well, what's your beef, Cub fan, Frank?
My beef is this, Murph. Lovie Smith, when he made coaching changes last year, said we would just have to trust him. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, that was his big statement when they launched Ron Rivera, in fact.
Absolutely. Well, now here's the problem. We have 9 first-year coaches, and we have one coach that has none, zero zilch coaching experience at all. How do you put a man that has never coached a person in his life in NFL coaching position?
Well, Frank, you're exactly right. And David Haw, with a spectacular piece in the front page of today's Tribune, he line itemizes about 25 different mistakes, in his opinion, the Bears have made this year. And right at the top, number 2, you fire your defensive coordinator and your defensive line coach, who directed a Super Bowl-worthy defensive unit, and you replace him with 2 guys who never have done those jobs at the NFL level. It's unbelievable, and they're right where they belong right now, Frank.
Absolutely, Murph.
All right, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Frank. Always great to hear from you, okay, buddy?
Thanks, Murph. Have a great weekend and a great year and holiday.
Thanks, my friend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. I got some beef. Let me start right here. I rewatched the Bears game last night, TV, and I noticed this when I was watching the game live Monday night, but I finally saw it last night again. The second half began. Who carried the game, right? The ABC guys coast to coast. The second half begins, and you know what time it is on the clock? No, it's not 15 minutes of the third quarter. It was 14:52. They came back to the start of the second half at 14:52. Now, let me tell you something else. It wasn't because of commercials. We love commercials. That's what puts commercial broadcasting on the air. They were showing highlights of the first half. Start of the fourth quarter. If you got a TiVo at home or on an old cassette, look at it, watch it. Start of the fourth quarter, you know what time they come back? Not 15:00, 14:52. Not commercials. They're showing highlights of the third quarter. Amazing. But I'm not eligible to win a trip to Browns. But we know it tastes better. Hey, you're going to have a lot of people over for the holidays, right? You know what you ought to do? The $49 football party special at Browns is perfect. You got family coming over, pick up one or two of the $49 football party specials at Browns. Go to brownschicken.com, find the location nearest you, check it out. And the $49 football party special, the Browns chicken, the famous pasta, the Italian beef, the Italian sausage, the French bread rolls, the peppers, the giardiniera. You lay it out on the card table right there. You feed everybody. You're a hero. And your wife will be very, very happy she didn't have to get involved in cooking. Let's go to, that's at Browns. Liberty Bill from Libertyville. Hello, Bill.
Hey, Murph, what's going on?
Love your handle. What's your beef?
My beef, I'm going to pile on the media's favorite coach, Mr. Lovie Smith, with this one.
Right.
I want to know why in the hell Mike Hass hasn't gotten an opportunity to crack the depth chart. I mean, we know what we have at receiver, and frankly, it's not a whole lot.
Let me ask you this, Liberty Bill, and obviously all the fans are wondering what happened to Mike Hass as in pass. That's the way he pronounces it, evidently. I saw him down a couple of days in Bourbonnais. No big deal. They're just working out there. They're not even in pads. He's got the sticky fingers. But is it? Here's my question, Liberty Bill, because I don't know the answer. Is it Lovie Smith or Jerry Angelo? Who's got the final say to dress somebody? That's the phrase, to dress somebody. I don't know.
That is a good question. I mean, what do? Make him run 40 times for Jerry, and whoever's got the best 40 times gets to play in the field? I really don't know, Murph.
I don't know. That's why it's so perplexing. But that's why we have What's Your Beef. Thank you, Liberty Bill.
Thank you, Murph.
All right, buddy. Hey, text me right now, 67011. Today's text question. If there was a game, like the All-Pro game, but the opposite, the Bizarro World, that showcased the worst players in the NFL, the Bizarro Pro Bowl, which Bear would make the team, in your opinion? 67011. Let's go next to, by the way, Murph driven to you by ChevyDriveChicago.com. Brian is a car phone. Hello, Brian.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Fine, Brian. What's your beef, pal?
Well, my beef is with these lying HGH users like Andy Pettit and Miguel Tejada, who not only say that they only used it once, but I was using it to fix an injury that I had so I could get back on the field to help my team.
Just once. It's like when, the teen, maybe you did this when you were a teenager, you get your first speeding ticket, and you say, Dad, I only was speeding one time.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, or like when I tell my wife I'm going out with my buddies to only have a couple of beers.
Or like Britney Spears' sister was in the paper today. Only happened once, Ma. I don't know how it happened, but I only tried one time. Thank you, Brian. Sorry. She looks just like Britney at the same age. Probably just as wacko in the head, or whack as the kids say now. Let's go to Mark from Elk Grove Village. Hello, Mark.
What's up, Murph?
Oh.
My beef is with the Tribune executives. I am a diehard White Sox fan. If any of my tax dollars go to finance Wrigley Field, they ought to knock down the place and put up some condos there. I have to bring my wife out to dinner downtown, and 1% of this is going to go toward improving the area. Give me a break, Murph. This is BS.
All right, Mark, now let the record show. Okay. We got a little bit of a disconnect there with some of the alleged facts, but hey, we don't let the facts stand in the way of a good segment, What's Your Beef? However, tax money, though they'll claim it wasn't, was involved in the building of U.S. Cellular. The downtown restaurant tax, I'm not sure if that is earmarked for Wrigley Field or just this new Wrigleyville restaurant tax. It's all sort of vague and nebulous, as most things are when it comes to someone else's money. And it's not to improve Wrigleyville. It would be to improve Wrigley Field. If you're just joining us, we did about a 10-minute segment on this earlier. All they're doing, it's a shell game, just like on the, which is banned on the L. 3-card Monte, the shell game. What they're doing is they're going to try to implement a restaurant tax, supposedly just around Wrigleyville, which then would be earmarked to fund improvements to Wrigley Field, which means the sale price of Wrigley Field, the Tribune Company, is just skyrocketed due to a new restaurant tax to improve a facility that, quite frankly, does not need to be improved. Sure, it needs to be maintained, but it's two different words. Improvement and maintenance, I believe, are radically different, but what do I know? I'm just a fan. Let's get back to a second round of phone calls. What's your beef from Browns when we return, by the way? Next time you go to Browns, check out the new Jumbo Buffalo Wings. Oh, man, you love Buffalo Wings? These are bigger Buffalo Wings, bigger taste, bigger flavors. And you know what? The Jumbo Buffalo Wings are flying off the shelves at Browns. Back in a flash. Murph till 2. And this is the best 2 weeks of the year to go see Jack. You got to see Jack.com. Jack Phelan, Dodge, Suzuki, Isuzu, Chevrolet. You're minutes away from Hinsdale, LaGrange, and Western Springs, Burr Ridge, and Indian Head Park. You got to see Jack.com. It's the score. Back in a flash. More beefs from Browns. It tastes better. George. Hey, 1 o'clock, we're going to have, I believe, a very, very in-depth view of something that's going on up at Hallis Hall, and I'll need your help. But what's your beef, my friends at Browns? Let's get right back to the beef lines. Oh, man, you're driving past Browns right up ahead on the left. Lunchtime, an Italian beef, an Italian sausage. I'm telling you, these are the way that your dad used to have, Grandpa used to rave about in the city of Chicago. It's the Chicago way, and you put the Italian beef, the Italian sausage together, you call it a combo. That's what we call it in Chicago. That's what Browns calls it, of course. It's the favorite of Browns president Frank Portillo. I know that for a fact. John in Norwich on the score. Hey, John.
Hey, Murph, how's it going?
Hi.
I was looking for you at the Gale Street Inn today.
Oh, I tell you what, I think I'm going to go see George and the Gale Street Inn this Sunday, maybe. Watch the Bears-Packers. They got the great New Orleans-style brunch. Maybe Sunday I'll see you over there at Norwich, John.
Sounds good. Hey, Murph, I don't have a beef. I have actually the opposite of a beef. I'm going to call it a pork. Not that I don't like beef. I eat beef every day.
Uh-huh.
But you nailed it. When you're talking about the tax revenue that may be coming in due to taxing these facilities, these restaurants and bars in Wrigleyville. Here's the story. The Tribune Company is in such deep you-know-what because when they bought the L.A. Times, they thought they can get out of about $1 billion tax liability.
Right. We let's bring it to the prep. We know that. We know they're in deep doo-doo money-wise. But I like your angle. Continue, please.
They took it to court thinking they can get out of it or settle for less. The court ruled against them. So this is a way for them to up front recoup that money.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, that's why I say, why don't Cub fans just send a check right now to the poor old Tribune company, because that's what they're doing right now. They're taking the money up front for long-term what they call improvements, which increases the value of the bricks and mortar there at Clark and Addison.
It's just to pay down the debt. It's just to pay down their tax liability.
It's a shell game, and I hope it doesn't plow through whoever has to okay this, be it City Hall or whomever. You know what? I'm not smart enough to figure it out, but I know something stinks. And I know you're a winner, John. Go visit my friends at Browns, okay, buddy?
Brother, thank you.
All right, hang on. Send John in Norwich over to Browns. You know it tastes better. Jumbo Buffalo Wings, $49 football party special, brownschicken.com. Let's go to Chris up in beautiful Woodstock. Hello, Chris.
Hey, Murph. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas. Oh, Chris, what's your beef?
My beef is with the Bears' offensive line. I mean, these guys can't even remember a snap count. It's so aggravating. And if they can't remember the snap count, how can we expect them to remember their blocking assignment?
Well, I don't want to sit here and defend them, but from, all the experts tell you inside that building it's hard to hear. But yet Tom Thayer, the offensive line great that he was with the Bears, on the radio, he's saying these guys got to know, even if it's hand signals or I don't know how they do it, but he says you've got to find a way to avoid the false starts. And this is Tom Thayer, so he knows what he's talking about. One question on the front line that no one's asking, Chris. They all of a sudden at game time take left guard Metcalf and replace him with backup tackle John St. Clair, right?
Yes.
Now, no one's talked much about this. I know a little bit on the score here, but that tells me a couple things. Number one, Metcalf ain't doing the job anymore. But what happened to Josh Beekman, the fifth round, I believe he was, a pick? He's an offensive guard. You're telling me that neither Metcalf, who was the long-term man of the future, or the first or the draft pick last year, Beekman, neither of them could play Monday night. They got to move a backup tackle over. That tells me they are in even deeper trouble on the O-line than we were led to believe.
Well, they don't even start, or they don't even give Mike Haas a chance. I mean, it's like they draft these guys and they don't even give them a chance to play. And it's like they keep following a script. It's like it was scripted for Garrett Wolf to get in on a certain series, and that's why he was in, and that's why they ran him. It's like they can't even...
No, they're not flexible, and not that they don't even make halftime adjustments, they cannot make in-game adjustments, which is even more damning. I highly recommend if you get a Tribune today, Chris, read David Haw. He's got 25 items where the Bears have screwed up this year. One of the best pieces of journalism I've read in a long time, and he covers some of those items that you mentioned. Hey, Chris, hang on. You're going to go visit Browns, all right, buddy?
Thanks a lot, man.
All right, good beef. Beefs are Browns. Browns are beefs. Let's take my final beef for today, Brian, on the northwest side of Chicago. Hey, Brian.
Hey, what's up, Murph?
Hey, what's your beef?
My beef is with the Chicago Bears, Murph. There is no light at the end of this tunnel.
We don't have
a quarterback. We don't have a running back. We don't have an offensive line. We don't have a defensive line. And Lovie Smith has that Dusty Baker look where he looks like he's lost in the snowstorm.
Other than that, Brian, what's the problem?
Hey, 20 draft picks wouldn't help the Bears right now. They need a whole team.
Hey, let me ask you this. That's a great point. I guess the Bears, if the season ended right now, would be drafting around a 7th to 10th slot. I think I heard Hub say the other night. But regardless of that, you know how Jerry Angelo loves to trade down and get inventory, multiple picks. Brian, what would you suggest he does this year with that, 7th, 8th, 9th pick of the draft? Trade up? Trade down, stay the same? What do you think you would do?
Murphy needs to trade down because he needs bodies. Because after Lance Briggs leaves this year, he may as well trade Urlacher. He may as well just trade the whole team. He needs bodies because the bodies that they got are just totally no good.
Oh, I like your angle. Hey, Merry Christmas. You're going to go to Browns, courtesy of Murph. Okay, Brian?
Thanks, Murph.
All right, buddy. Hang on. We'll hook you up. Another very, very energetic session of What's Your Beef?
Thanks for participating in What's Your Beef. Join Murph for another edition of What's Your Beef. What's Your Beef has been brought to you by Brown's Chicken Sandwiches and Catering.
All winners of the Mike Murphy Show are only eligible to win prizes once in a 60-day period.